Do 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 do. Do 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 do. What up? This is Shan, and this is Cozy Womb Podcast. This is Ari. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi, Anya.
Hi.
What up? What's up? This is Shan, and this is Cozy Womb Podcast, and this is episode 67. I had to backtrack because I was scrolling through, and I'm just like, you know what? I skipped a few episodes. So, this episode is about kids and their accidents, because kids are curious little human beings, and they try things, and they fail, and it's kind of like we have to pick up the pieces of it. So, I'm going to explain and share with you guys a couple of my kids' accidents and what we can do to help, and the annoying feeling of being a parent and feeling helpless. Because kids, they're going to have accidents. Not everything happens on purpose. Okay? Okay.
Say what?
So I have two kids, and my 5-year-old, she's always been the quiet, reserved, always happy, always in a good mood. The only time she's not in a good mood is when she's sick. And you could put her in a room and let her sit there and play, and she'll be quiet, and she'll entertain herself. And she was never like the crying child. She could be up late at night, not making a peep, a sound. When I first had her, and she was a newborn, nobody knew I had a newborn in the house, like, peaceful. Then came along Ari, the ruckus, the Tasmanian, just tearing up stuff, okay? And I'm just like, what? And who said the second one is a breeze? Because that was a lie. She's just a riot. She comes in, she takes over, she gets real comfortable real quick. She lets her presence be known. She screams. She's very aggressive. She'll grab you up real quick. She'll pull shirts, yank chests, yell. She's just very, and always into something. If she's quiet, you need to go find her. So, I want to say last month? I think it was last month. I was in my house and I was putting on, Anya's shoes, and all you hear is whoop, boom, boom. And I'm just like, what? And I turn around, and my chair in my kitchen is pulled down. She's under the chair, and all I saw was like her head like bump up from the floor. I'm just like, shoot. I pick up the chair, I pick her up, and I see blood drops on the floor. And I'm like, shoot, what did you hit? Turn her around, her face is just red, crying, screaming. I take her to the bathroom. I'm cleaning off her face to see where the blood is coming from. It's her nose. So she pulled down my iron high kitchen chair onto herself, hit the wood floor. Her face hit the wood floor, and somewhere in between the fall hit the chair also. Someone's like, shoot. So I'm looking at it. It's not getting swollen at the moment. I'm trying to hush her. Cleaning it, putting some gauze there to help stop the bleeding. Hushing her. Looking at it, it's turning red. It's like, shoot. So I'm trying not to let her fall asleep, because when kids hit their head or anything, in their face, you kind of want to keep them up as much as possible. So I instantly got some Tylenol, and I gave her some Tylenol because I know that was hurting her. And I'm just watching her, keeping her up. So I keep her up for at least 2 hours. She relaxes, and then she falls asleep in my hand, and I'm listening to her breathing. I call her doctor. It's on a damn weekend, so nobody's answering, and I'm just like, you know what? It stopped bleeding. I don't, feel nothing broken. I'm gently touching it. I'm just like, okay, let me just watch her. So I'm watching her. The next day, it's kind of purple. I'm just like, shit. But she's yellow. Like, her skin is very, light. So I'm just like, maybe it's just bruised. So I'm looking at her. I'm just like, nah. Let me take her to her doctor so they can tell me if I should go get her x-rays, if, something's broken, what I should do. So I get her a doctor's appointment later on in the week. I miss work. Mind you, I'm in training for this new job. I was just like, shoot, I gotta go see about her. So I take her to the doctor, which is 2:30 in the afternoon. They look at her, they see her. She don't want them touching her. She looks like she has a black eye because where she hit it was the bridge of her nose, the top of her nose, and around where her eye is. So they're checking to see if, they could feel anything, and it's swollen. So he was like, you know what? Just to correct if anything's broken, she would have to wear a face mask, but the sooner the better, and because she's young, it'll heal fast. Just go ahead and take her to Children's. So I'm just like, shoot. That means I had to drive from College Park, from her doctor's office in Georgia, all the way into Dunwoody, Georgia, and midday traffic, dog. But it's my baby. I have to do it. I want her to be okay. So I take the drive, and it's raining, and there's hella traffic. Get her there. They go through a whole process, put her in a little wagon, waiting for her to get the x-rays done. When I tell you getting these x-rays was so annoying and so hard because she's so little, and she doesn't like doctors, period. She doesn't like seeing you in a white long coat coming in the room and somewhere not smelling like anything. So she was already having a fit. Then the way that they had to hold her, because it's her head, they had to hold her head still at different angles. She was annoyed. She was screaming. She was hot. She was I had to take her clothes off above where they were x-raying her. They had to hold her head a certain way. It looked like they were being rough with her, but they really weren't. They were just trying to get the angle and do the countdown so they could get the picture and so they could take a look at where her nose is. And because of that angle, they needed to see certain sides and to see if someone's broken. They do all the x-rays, which takes about 20-30 minutes for the x-rays. The wait before I went to go take the x-rays was 30 minutes. Then after they take the x-rays, they can't even tell me what the x-rays show. So the lady lets me get her dressed, takes her out. They give her a balloon. She likes balloons. They give her a balloon, walks me out, and she was like, okay. And then she just dips. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, who's going to tell me what's going on? So I go to the desk in the middle, and I'm just like, so my daughter got her x-rays. Who is going to tell me if something's broken, what I do next? So the lady goes, they didn't tell you? Girl, if they did tell me, I want to be talking to you. I want to go home. So I was like, no. So she takes me to the counter of where I waited for them to take me in to get the x-rays for her. And they're just like, her physician's going to call her in a few days and tell her. What? That type of stuff, I feel like as a parent, you want to know ASAP. There shouldn't be a wait that I have to wait a few days to hear back on if there's something in her face that's broken or not. Why do I have to wait a few days? So that was irritating. So I just got pissed, and I was like, all right, and I just left. Went to the parking lot, put her in the the car, whatever. I'm going back and forth with her dad because he has like a set. Okay, he has like a set day to see her, and that is on the day that he's supposed to see her, or whatever. And I'm just like, you can meet me at the hospital because this is an emergency. If you want to get her, earlier. He was like, no, I can't be at a certain place, blah, 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 blah. I more so think it was like he didn't want to take that drive all the way to Dunwoody to get her. So I'm just like, fine, whatever. I said, I can meet you here and you can take her if you want. So we agreed on a spot to meet at like 8 something. And I gave him to her, and I just told him, watch for her face, do this, don't do this, whatever. So the doctor called me back, and it was like, okay, there's nothing broken, but just watch her, make sure she's not, playing rough, and just keep giving her the Tylenol. So, Anya, put up those beads. Playing with beads, and it's 9:24, and I wake up at 4:45, and she's gonna get up at 4:45 a.m. with me, and she's gonna be really upset that I'm waking her up, but she won't go to sleep. But I already put her to sleep at 8:45. So okay, it's gonna be on her in the morning. But anyway, so I'm just watching her. I get her back, and I take the girls to the library, and we taking pictures, and it just looked like I'm just over here beating on my kid because she has like a black eye, and I'm just like, oh no. So people looking at her, and you can see them like take a second look and look at her face and just look at me like, why your kid got a black eye? But they're not asking me because it's none of their business, and they don't want to seem nosy, but they are being nosy. But yeah, so I went through that. That was kind of scary, and I just know from that and Ari climbing on things and Ari always standing on the edge of something that she's going to be that kid that's going to give me a run for my money. She's going to be that kid that takes it to the next level and risk it all. She's going to be that kid probably in a cast because she was being extra. Every kid is different. I have 5 brothers, and my younger brother was the one that's always doing extra stuff, swallowing screws, swallowing coins, swallowing card pieces, chewing up all his pencils. That's how you knew his pencils was his, because it has chew marks all over it. Kids do weird things. Kids put weird things in their mouth. For instance, Anya's going to a sitter right now, and the sitter has 2 puppies, a cat, and other kids there, but at the same time, I know that I can't have... I'm not reading the story because it's very late and you're going to be tired in the morning. Go to your bed. I just know Ari can't be there because Ari's the type of child that's going to see something, taste it, swallow it, then bring it to you if it's nasty. And I just can't have her there with all of that going on. So that's why they can't go to the same temporary sitter right now, being that Anya's school is out. So I'm just like, you know what? Between me and her dad, we're going to have to figure out where she's going to go, what daycare she's going to go to, because I'm through on my options. I'm always a person to figure out who's watching Ari, what daycare Ari's going to go to, what we're going to do Ari with this emergency. Now is kind of getting to the point where he's, stepping up and having Ari when I can't, figure out things with Ari. And I completely appreciate it. Yes, it's something he should do because that's her dad, but at the same time, I'm just not used to him figuring out what to do with Ari. But I completely appreciate it because it is helping me right now. Even though it's not a daycare, even though it's not a sitter, I know that Ari's with her dad, you know what I'm saying? And I hope that he will keep extra eyes on her and, do what she needs. So for right now, that's going to work. But when it comes to curious kids, you just have to prep. And for right now, whenever Ari's at my house, like I didn't even move my chairs back. My chairs are against the bar and against the French doors in my kitchen, because I don't want her pulling them down. I don't want even her to be nowhere near them. So now I could put my chairs back around the table, being that she's not here and it's just me and Anya. But at the same time, you just have to prep the environment for your child. I have never child-proof a home for any of my kids, because it's more so, if you don't introduce them to an area, they're not going to be in it. If they don't sit there and watch you go in and out of something, they shouldn't be in it. Anya was never the one to go into cabinets, never open doors, never unlock bottles or anything like that. Ari, on the other hand, she's a curious one, and she likes to go in things. So I kind of dummy proof with her and put certain things through handles so she can't open it. In the kitchen, I don't let them play in my kitchen. I don't let them run in my kitchen. As far as like corners on things, I just move things further into a room so it's not right there at the corner. They're still gonna run. They're still gonna run into walls. Ari's not as tall as running into knobs, so I'm not really worried about her running into knobs. But at the same time, I just make sure that things are double locked. You know what I'm saying? Things are super put away around her, and that's all you can do with kids. You know, I do believe that Ari is gonna be my I need bail money stash baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's always pushing it. She's always being super aggressive. She's always being super curious. Anya's kind of like, you know, she's a punk when it comes to that. She's gonna want to try it, but she's not gonna go for it because she knows she's gonna get in trouble. Ari, on the other hand, she's gonna go for it. She's gonna look you in the eye as she's going for it. So you just have to know your kid and prepare for them to be around, and don't keep things in their reach, and tell them no. You know, tap them hands when they touch it anyway, and discipline them so they understand that, you know, that's not a good thing for me to do because X, Y, and Z happened last time. You have to let kids know that. So that's the only thing you could do when it comes to kids and accidents. I mean, accidents are going to happen, but as long as you teach them through the accident, you should be okay. As long as you prep before an accident does happen, you should be okay. And you better keep you a first aid kit. Keep some Band-Aids in the car. Keep some alcohol wipes. Keep a stash of Tylenol, Benadryl, Benadryl cream, peroxide alcohol, gauze, and a whole bunch of Band-Aids. Okay? And make them cute. You know, everybody always comes to me for Band-Aids. I've been having Band-Aids before I had kids, so just prep. That's the only thing you can do when it comes to kids and accidents, is just prep. You know, her pulling down the chair was something I completely could not foresee. It's just something that happened. I dealt with it. She's okay now. Nothing's broken. There's no scarring. She has no more black eye, so I look like a good mother now. Before, you know, my friends was like, oh, here comes the lady in the clipboard, because she had a black eye. But now, you know, it's gone. But, you know, that clipboard joke is pretty funny. But I don't know. What do y'all do to prep for y'all kids when it comes to accidents and things? Curious. My name is Shan. I get it. Completely get it. And, you know, these are our kids. And, you know, in order to have a cozy life, we just got to keep our eyes on them. Okay? This is Cozy Boom. Thank you for listening. I'm out. Ready to start this week, okay? And y'all enjoy y'all New Year's. Bye.
Good night, good night, good night, good night.